We're edging closer to the end of the season, 2023-2024. This is a Monday that we are talking to you as we prepare for racing on a Tuesday. Of course, we should have been racing in the Western Cape, but the good news, there is some kind of sunshine. It is that we're going to be racing on Wednesday and Thursday. However, it may be the country course of Durbanville that hosts both meetings. Thursday was always meant to be Durbanville, but it looks like the meeting from today abandoned till Wednesday. That'll go through to Durbanville, but more details will follow. Welcome to you. Don't forget you can get in touch with us via our X handle or our WhatsApp number. We're looking forward to your company as we lead up to the big one, the big finale for the season. And this is the 28th of July. Right now, we're looking forward to racing on the standside track of the vaal, and that is an 8-race program. Right, let's introduce our co-host, our man with all the tips and with all the knowledge that we need to get through Tuesday, and that is Mr. Marie. Daryl, very good morning.
Welcome back, Mr. Mtembu.
Well, thank you so much.
Hope you're well rested.
I'm well rested, but missed you guys very, very much. Thank you for that welcome.
Yeah.
Now, Saturday, things seemed to be going swimmingly until the last race, when, of course, the Glawari came and changed a lot of people's afternoons.
I was stuck in the bush with no reception, so I have to go back and watch some replays.
Saved by the bush.
All
right, so we've got an 8-race program on the standside track. 12:30 is off time to that first of our 8. So let's get straight into Daryl's input of a maiden juvenile plate, and it's race number 1. Now, race number 1 will be over the 1100 meters. Full Racing welcomes you maiden juvenile plate, and it's fillies, and it looks like the Aussies could continue their good run, or perhaps you're looking elsewhere.
I've opted to bank number 7 in the opening leg of the bar pot. Take Your Place. The reason being, Cecil, if you go back to the Kindred Heart run, she actually had the beating of, who is it? Far Reaching.
Yes.
In Mr. Aziz filly Summer Winter's debut, right?
Yes.
She finished alongside Far Reaching. So I know that she's got a lot of scope for improvement, and I respect her chances. But if you're using Far Reaching as a line horse, she does have she has to find a length or two. The same can be said, funny enough, for number 8, Vulcanite. Now, if you using Belissabar and Far Reaching as the line horses, she's also got a work cut out. I'm not too convinced about that form line, 17 against form line. So I'm focusing strictly on numbers 6 and 7 over here. Number 7 being my first choice. Take Your Place. I think she's got the fitness and the experience on her side, and she will appreciate the extra 100 meters. So a confident banker in the opening leg of the bar pot.
Muzieni and St. John Gray have certainly been in a very good form since they've reunited. Take Your Place is the banker, and there is that bar pot selection. Total cost of 360 Rand. As we progress to the tail end of that bar pot, you will see that Daryl has got us covered. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 in the penultimate, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 in the last. And that is the off time to race 1, 12:30. All right, so it is a 12:30 start to our race meeting at 13:05. That will be race 2, and that means that on the race program, we're getting into that PA. It is another maiden juvenile plate, 1100 meters of distance once again. And just having a look at the odds-on favorite, that is the Fabian Abib trained number 4, Blaze Away. Give me the green light, who came out and ran second behind a highly promising Watchman who had disappointed on debut, just touched off, but had shown enough that next time out it would be a case of following up with a victory, and that they did. So Blaze Away, that ran a second at 3.10 lengths, and the only other runner that has got that come on look is the 7 Ombudsman. Second one was at the Scottsville racetrack over the 1400, drops back to the 1100. Mr. Marie, it's blinkers on the 7 Ombudsman. Watchman, there was a lot of talk. I was actually still working at the time, and Watchman showed enough. I think greenness costed on its debut.
Absolutely, Cecil. Watchman had the benefit of having one run over the course in distance. It was around the bend, and Blaze Away was far from disgraced. You know, he came to the course expected to run a forward race. There was support for him, and he just found one too good on the day. Now, interesting of you, Cecil, there isn't much between Blaze Away and Antonio Gaudi, just over a length and a bit. Now, if you go back to Antonio Gaudi's debut, he was well beaten by Wolf Mountain, right?
Yeah.
Ombudsman, on the other hand, was beaten just on 2 lengths.
Yes.
If you're reading into that form line, he could be the right horse, Ombudsman, but he did disappoint in his second start. He had a few excuses. He didn't get the best of breaks. He was very green around the bend. Now they brought him back to the half out. They're putting a set of blinkers on him. So I've got healthy respect for Ombudsman. You know what? Going down to the start in his second start, he was far too keen. So let's hope he's taken down more quietly, and I can see him run a much improved race. In saying that, Blaze Away is very well related, and he's got a lot of scope for improvement. I think numbers 4 and 7 will fight it out. I don't know what to. I can't stick you into either of them, Cecil. I think just focus on the exacta, and then Antonio Gaudi for the third position.
All right, for us exotic players, one or the other can be a banker.
Yeah, you can bank it either or in the place accumulator. Just because of Ombudsman being fitted with the blinkers, and I'm uncertain how he's going to react with them on, I have chosen to bank number 4, Blaze Away.
Well, there it is, evidence on screen on that slide. A banker, the 4 in the first leg, and we'll bookend that place accumulator with another banker. That is the 4 in the last leg, that being a captain of grit, to be partnered by Calvin, a recent relocatee to the Tony Peters stable at that first run, and it wasn't a disgrace behind a 2 miles west, a promising 3-year-old from the Matchett stable. All right, as the week progresses, don't forget you can get in touch with us via our X handle or indeed our WhatsApp number. We've got a lot of good racing, and of course, we heard Richard Fourie the other day proclaim that he's looking at a 380 as his final target when the season or the curtain comes down on the season. Right, let's get back to our racing at the Vaal, where Richard unfortunately won't be. Race 3 is the start of the Pick 6. It is a racing today, maiden plate over the 1400 meters. Important form update at the cover guy. I think that would be the case. That is Planning Gold. Actually ran on Saturday, finished third, 3 lengths behind Diwali Rocket, whom it must be said wasn't winning out of turn, but was good value for the owner, Mr. Pandaram. Right, let's have a look at who's favored, and it is Press On Regardless, a pleasing debut here on the high felt, and is a co-favorite of the first time, number 10 Confederate at 7-2, 4-1. On numbers 1 Sutherland, and the 3 Storm ahead is 5-1, and better bar those. Well, Mr. Maria, I do know that you're a pedigrees man. 10 Confederate. This is the sort of trip that the sibling who did well for the Snaith stable, won over 3 races over the 1,000 meters. Well, this is 1,400, but certainly speed and pedigree.
Yes. Now, Confederate, what first catches the eye is the booking of Gavin Lorena. Unfortunately, Fabian hasn't commented in the front of the computer form, but what I can tell you, Cecil, you've touched on one of the siblings, Shinnecock. The other one was the filly called Dawn Calling. Now,
Yes, I do recall Dawn Calling.
Dave, she was in the yellow silk.
Yes,
Dave McLeod or so. Anyway, she ran second in the grade 1 to Queenie.
Yes.
And the dam of Fabian's Fire Alley over here won 2 races over 1,400, if I'm not mistaken. Or Dawn Calling did, Confederate. So he's extremely well related.
Yes.
And with Gavin Lorena in the hands, perhaps they mean business. So I can certainly see him making a winning debut, number 10, Confederate. Cecil, let me just put it out there. I'm not convinced with There's a Light form. So I've completely brassed all of those that represent that form line. Let's touch on number 1, Sutherland. Now, he's been off the track for quite some time. I don't know his well-being. All I can tell you is in his second start, he ran behind Joker Man.
Yes.
We know what Joker Man's gone on to do. He's won 5 in a row.
5 in a row, yes.
Yes. Now, last time out against Turk Connell, he actually moved up a little bit too soon, I think. He was traveling extremely well. He hit the front a long way from out, but he has been rested. So let's see how he goes. He's a son of Silvano. He should certainly improve with racing and time. The horse I'm leaning towards is Panning Gold. Now, did you touch on the form update?
I did touch on 3 lengths behind. That was Sensoria. No, Diwali Rocket, rather.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, Sensoria.
What I like about him, Cecil, is this horse takes time to unwind.
Yes.
Especially around a bend. I find him very green around the bend, and when he only finds his feet very late in the straight. He's up a long vaal straight. I'm hoping he can get into his stride and action quite some way out, and I think this will be the ideal track and trip for him. I'm not too certain if he's going to line up because it is very soon.
Very soon after Saturday.
If he does and he's taken that race well, I mean, Olsen will only let him run if he has taken that race well. I think he could prove the horse to beat. So I've got numbers 1, 10, and 11 here.
1, 10, and 11. That's the lowdown to race number 3. That's the first leg of the pick six, 1, 10, and 11. And a reminder once again as we round off, it is third, last time out over the 1600, 3 lengths behind the Diwali Rocket for the 11, Panning Gold. Well, we've had quite a bit of racing on the Highveld, and we have another form update as outstanding from a recent meeting, and that was on the 18th of July, where number 2, Breath of Magic, finished 5th, and that was some way off the winner, 8.20 lengths behind an overdue winner in American Rebel. That is the 2. 5th, 8.20 lengths behind the winner, and that was over the 1600. We dropped to 1400 once again for race number 4, and it's got to surely be today or Tuesday. Let's Play Poker, 13 to 20. Number 2, Breath of Magic, 5 to 1, 8 to 1 about the 8, Cliffy Clavin. And that is a first timer in the race, 17 to 2 and better. Now, the first timer, don't know too much about the pedigrees there, Mr. Marie. It's out of a very informed sire. Canford Cliffs out of a King of Kim's mare, Franking. Didn't see too much when I tried to find out about the dam line.
Yeah, to be honest, Cecil, I haven't looked too much into that myself. No comments in the front of the book from
Yes.
Mr. Larkus. Yeah, let's see if there's any support for him. I focused on the race runners over here.
Okay.
Now, if you have a look in the front of the computer form, Candace Dawson has said number 9, Lonely as a Cloud, is working well, may need the run, not will need the run. So I'm happy enough that this horse is working well. He does represent the Western Cape maiden form, Cecil,
Yes.
which is very, very strong. Now, let me
Yes.
just tell you something. In that very race was a horse called Xantha,
Uh-huh.
who came out in one of the weekend.
Saturday. Uh-huh.
They actually finished alongside each other. Just ahead of him was Issa Vivani, who won, and French Flame, who's come out to win. And there's several other winners from there. So he has been rested and gelded, Cecil. I find this was very, very interesting. And I do believe, although he's not 100% fancied by the yard, he could give this favorite a lot to think about. Number 9, Lonely as a Cloud. Now, number 1 is the obvious selection. Let's Play Poker. I like the fact that he improved without the blinkers and the tongue tie being fitted. And if you watch that race very carefully, he got into the race late.
Yes.
And I think ridden similarly, patiently, he could be crying out for the extra because he was doing his best work towards the end of that race. So he does step up to the 1400. He is being backed up quite soon, but he is the form select on form. He's the natural selection. So I'm going 1 and 9 in everything. I'm hoping Lonely as a Cloud has ability and could give the favourite a run for his money. So the value with a 9, most certainly.
All right, outlay to Jackpot 1 is 240 Rand. Jackpot 1 gets underway with race 4. That's at 14.15. Okay, so we're at the halfway stage or into the second half of our 8-race program on the old track at the Vaal on the Tuesday. Due off at 10 to 3 is the first leg of the second jackpot. Another maiden plate. This time the distance is 2,000 meters and the betting is quite tight. It is 3 to 1 about the co-favorites at the moment, and that is the 1 Douglas Dragon and the Tony Peter trained number 8 Orangemund. Then you've got 4 to 1 about number 2 Master TikTok. And then the 5 Man's and Night, 5 to 1, 6 to 1 is the last in single digits, and that's the 3 roll of the dice, 18s, and better bar those. Well, 2 form lines dominate here, Mr. Marie. There is the Caliburn form line that is going back to the 27th of June, and there is the Main Mission form line, 16th of June, and of course we know all about Main Mission. You are still dining on the Main Mission as we speak today, because you really did. It was one of the finest days, and you've had many good days that you tipped, and Main Mission was one of those that you made a big runner.
I did. Thank you, Cecil. Yeah, now on that run, you can obviously see that Douglas Dragon does hold Master TikTok and Oranjemund, but Oranjemund has got a lot of scope for improvement, and you never know with these horses. They appear to be limited at this stage of their career, Cecil. So a little bit of luck in running could reverse the results. What's great to see is Jared Penny get given a bone with some meat on over here, Douglas Dragon. Now, he obviously booted over a winner over the weekend, so his confidence must be up. He should get the run of the race from stallgate number 1. So I can certainly see him confirming the form with those that he finished ahead of last time out. Now, let's touch on the other form line you mentioned, Roll of the Dice and Man's Knight. They
Yes.
both finished behind Caliburn. On that occasion, Roll of the Dice, I also fancied his chances, and he got the run of the race. Whereas Man's Knight, Cecil, if you watch that race very carefully, he came into the straight 4 wide under apprentice Mohammed Mansouri.
Yes.
Roll of the Dice meets him on better weight terms this time round. But Man's Knight is coming from a yard that has struck form.
Yeah.
And are having winners recently, and he's a jockey up. Gavin Lorena gets the ride this time around. If you take note, Cecil, Man's Knight actually improved with the tongue tie being removed, and he should strip fitter. So I'm going to be leaning towards him as the likely winner, but I've gone wide in this race because I give chances to all of numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8.
1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. That's the way of Mr. Marie in race number 5. Take a better winner number maiden plate over the 2,000 meters. And there's confirmation on screen. And of course, that 4 is again a prominent feature in that selection. That is captain of Britta Banker in the last leg of Jackpot 2. All right, let's talk about race 6 now. This is titled for Hospitality Bookings caller 01168111796 maiden plate for fillies and mares. They're going over the 2,000 meters now. Why I stress that title, because before you know it, we will be getting into our spring season, and then before you know it, there's a charity mile, and then there's, of course, the big one, the Summer Cup, end of November. Time just seems to fly by. Anyway, let's get back to vaal on Tuesday. It is off at 15.25 with the last chance to get involved in a pick 3. And here we've got the 1 City Lights at 18-10. Number 3, Incredible Indrani, rather, is at 7-2. 4-1 a nibble at the 8. A Party Punch from 9-2 to 4-1 is 5-1 and better bar those. Talking about the 8 Party Punch, let me give you a form update from just Saturday gone. It was at 4-1. And in fact, was at 5-1, finished 4th, and that was 3 lengths behind a new recruit to the stable of Robin Clauses, and that was Sensoria in the colours of Mr. Stenky Pue. Right, 18-10, a City Lights, a 3-year-old daughter of Pomodoro. It's a maiden plate, has had its fair share of chances, 18 chances so far, sir.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to be jumping into that price, to be honest, Cecil. 18 goes. Listen, she must have a winning chance. You know who finished alongside her last time out? Was Plum Pudding.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's not going to make you overly excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cecil, in that race was Butternut and Roy Vane. Now, if you actually watch the race itself, Butternut and Roy Vane went down the inside running rail, had to be eased. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her reverse the form with City Lights.
Believe it or not, sorry to interrupt, Johnny liked the horse before it even went to the start. Huh?
Butternut?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she must have looked good. She
Yeah.
must be in a good space.
Yeah.
Yeah, give both of them winning chances. Interesting of your Incredible Indrani gets refitted with a tongue tie. You have to take note of anything Gavin swings his leg over for Fabian. They mean business.
Yes.
I can see her featuring. Let's see how that form line has worked out with Man's Knight and Roll of the Dice in the previous.
Yeah.
Angel of My Heart, I've thrown her in. I think she wouldn't be a real upset if she had to contest the finish. And then Perform, Cecil, she, in a penultimate start, has to be a factor.
Yes, that was against winners, huh?
Maybe from stallgate number 3, she could be a little bit closer to the pace. She seems one-paced. And then we have to touch on the filly Party Punch, who you mentioned the form update with.
Yes.
If she lines up, Cecil, I think she's crying out for the extra. Her dam actually was a stayer. I think she won over 1,900 meters. And if she's taken that race well, I wouldn't be surprised to see her be right there. So, yeah, wide open event, Cecil. I'm not going to nail my colours to the mast. I've gone very wide.
Yes, sir, indeed, confirmed, as was the case with Jackpot 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 will be that opening leg, and that is the last chance to get involved in a pick 3. An off time of 15 at 25 to race 6. All right, so it is lots of betting opportunities on a Betway. We just had a tremendous finisher to the British Open Sunday gone, and we've got lots still to come. Horse racing will be the main feature right up to and including Sunday. Friday, you can, well, Tuesday, you can get involved in betting on the Betway app, and that is with race 7, a Pinnacle Stakes. Now, this is a good race. We've had a couple of scratchings come through. The 5 Magic to 2, and most recently, Danilo Delinovic has also been scratched. But that is 6 runners to face up, and it's not a given. Rulership obviously has been the one that's bumping heads with the class acts around, and that is the likes of Thunderstruck. Let's go to Mr. Marie. Last run, a length and a half behind the Thunderstruck, and that is Rulership.
Yeah, a cracking run on that occasion, Cecil. If you have a look at that form line, you'll see Mover and Shaker was just behind him.
Yes.
Go back even further in form lines, you'll see in April, Rulership beat Mover and Shaker. Go back to December. You'll see, or January, you'll see that they reversed the form over there. So, you know what, it's topsy-turvy. The fact that Mover and Shaker has had a run in between that and comes back to 1,000 meters, I wouldn't be surprised to see them finish on top of each other again. Now, on the run behind Silent War, you can see Captain Hindsight beat Mover and Shaker, but that was over 1160. So I wouldn't read too much into that. What I do want to say is Captain Hindsight is as honest as the day is long, and he has really held his form consistently well on the Highveld. So winning chances to all of numbers 1, 2, and 4. Have a look who goes down. Best to the start. Make up your mind thereafter. I'm not going to sit here and try to be a genius.
All right, so I take it Sheldon is not part of the best weighted, is not part of your equation.
Well, let's just say the fact that Gavin Lorena is not riding for Mr. Verner's and has taken the ride on Mover and Shaker will just confirm that Sheldon is not ready.
3 weeks away, and I thought the conspiracy theorist in you had died, but it's still very much alive. 1, 2, 4 by 4. That is the suggested last double. All right, so we've had a couple of scratchings come through whilst we're in the process of putting together this show, and they are the 2 Trident King, while the other scratching came through yesterday, the 3 Moolah Man. I'm talking about the other that came through in race 7. That was very, very recent. I'll actually just recap the scratchings before we finish. But race 8, it's numbers 2 and 3 out, and then a form update. Number 7, Whispers of War, finished a 10th, and that was 6.90 lengths behind Majestic Palace, and that was over a distance of 1,800 meters. This afternoon, they drop back to 1,600 meters, and there's an off time to 22.5 for race number 8, Mr. Marie. Now, we've lost the Trident King, who would have been a big disappointment last time out, and I've forgotten one more form update, in fact. 5 LMB, beaten by Sade with Roses last time out into 5th by 3.30 length, and that was over the trip of 2,000 meters, LMB, and will be partnered by Craig Zaki. Right, that is out of the way. 2 and 3 are out. Your selections, are they affected by the scratchings?
Not at all. You know, Cecil, Captain of Grit, you can see in all my perms, I've taken a chance to and bank at him.
Yes.
Now, in his penultimate start, he played up terribly at the pens, and he ran behind Jokerman. We know that Jokerman's franked that form again. Now, Cecil, last time out, he behaved himself better behind the pens. He was ridden by the apprentice, but if you actually have a look at that form line, to date, it's really stood up well, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
In that race was Safe Space, also trained by Tony
and came
Peter.
through to win.
He finished a good few lengths behind Captain of Grit. He's come out to win. Also in that race was American Biscuit, who's come out to place. Copper Mist placed from there, and also Blackberry Breeze. So whatever run has either placed or won. Now he's having his peak run, and if you look at his form up the Vaal Straight, he's had 2 career victories to date. Both have been up the Vaal Straight. One of the very same course and distance, and one of the 1,500. So you know what? Having his peak run, up the vaal straight, come down slightly in the ratings, and behaving better at the start. I think this is a recipe for him to notch up his third career victory. In saying that, this is a wide open race, so I've taken my chances. I do not make him a racing certainty, but I think he is the horse to beat. If you don't want to banker him, good luck to you. You're going to have to load up as many as possible.
Right, just to tell you, Captain of Grid tops the boards, was 5-1 last night, is now at 15-4. So I guess it's an adjustment as well of sorts, because you've got the 8 open highway now adjusted into 7-2, 15-2 in from 8-1 are numbers 5 LMB, as well as the 6 Maximum Magician. So that's an adjustment, but had been brought into 4-1 before the adjustment into 15-4. So we take heat. Captain of Grid, it is Tony Peter and Calvin Abib hoping to round off the meeting with a victor.